Have you ever asked God, why is this happening to me? You prayed, you trusted, you tried to do everything right, but still, the pain came, the loss, the heartbreak, the disappointment. It feels like the weight of the world is pressing down on your chest. You cry at night, wondering if God even hears you. My friend, I want you to know something today. God has not abandoned you. Every tear you have cried, He has seen it. Every sleepless night, He has been there. And here's the truth. Your pain is not wasted. God is turning it into something beautiful. He is shaping it into a testimony that will not only change your life, but will give hope to others. This is the story of how God turns pain into purpose, and how your deepest wounds can become the most powerful part of your calling. Chapter 1. Pain is not wasted. Pain is something we all try to avoid. We want life to be smooth, safe, and predictable. But life is rarely that way. Pain interrupts our plans. It forces us into seasons we never asked for. Yet, in God's hands, pain is never wasted. Think about Joseph in the Bible. He was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and thrown into prison for something he didn't do. For years, it seemed like his life was moving from bad to worse. But behind the scenes, God was preparing him for a purpose far greater than he could imagine. When famine came, Joseph was in the exact position to save not only Egypt, but also the very family that had hurt him. What the enemy meant for harm, God used for good. Maybe right now you're in your own Joseph season. You feel forgotten. You feel trapped. But remember, every tear you cry is like a seed planted in the soil of God's plan. It may take time to grow, but one day, you will see the fruit. Your pain today can become the very thing God uses to bless someone tomorrow. Chapter 2. God's presence in the dark. The hardest part of pain is often the silence. You pray, but heaven seems quiet. You read the Bible, but the words feel far away. You look around, and it seems like everyone else's life is moving forward while you're stuck in the dark. But here's what I've learned. Just because you can't feel God doesn't mean He isn't there. Sometimes His presence is most powerful when it's least obvious. Like the roots of a tree growing deep underground, God is working in ways you cannot see. Think about the disciples in the storm. The wind was violent, the waves were crashing, and fear gripped their hearts. But Jesus was in the boat with them the whole time. He didn't leave when the storm came. He was there, steady, unshaken, ready to speak peace over the chaos. Your storm may not end overnight. The darkness might not lift in an instant. But God is in your boat. He is closer than the breath in your lungs, even if your feelings try to tell you otherwise. And in those quiet, hidden moments, He is strengthening you, shaping you, and preparing you for the day when you will step out of the darkness with a story to tell. A story of His faithfulness. Chapter 3. The breaking before the blessing. Before God can use your pain for a greater purpose, there is often a breaking. It's the moment when everything you thought you could depend on crumbles. Your plans fall apart. Your strength runs out. Your confidence feels shattered. And yet in God's hands, breaking is not the end. It is the beginning of transformation. Think of the seed planted in the soil. For life to come, the shell has to break. Without the breaking, there is no growth, no roots, no fruit. The Bible shows us this pattern over and over. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers, sold as a slave, and thrown into prison. But it was through that breaking that God positioned him to save nations. David spent years hiding in caves before becoming king. Even Jesus, before the resurrection, endured the breaking of the cross. It's painful, it's messy, and it feels unfair. But God does not waste the breaking. When you're in that place, it's tempting to think you've been abandoned. But in truth, You are being shaped for something far bigger than you can see. The breaking strips away what you never needed so that you can hold on to what truly matters: His presence, His promises, His strength. And one day, when you look back, you'll see that the breaking was the very thing that made you ready for the blessing. Chapter 4. Finding Strength in Surrender. We live in a world that tells us to be strong, to never let go, to keep fighting until we win. But God's way is different. His word reminds us, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." That means the moment you stop trying to carry everything on your own is the moment God can truly step in. Surrender is not giving up. It's handing over the battle to the one who has already won it. When you surrender your pain, your fears, and your unanswered questions to God, you are not admitting defeat. You are declaring trust. It's like putting a heavy load onto someone far stronger than you. The weight hasn't disappeared, but it's no longer crushing you. Jesus said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Surrender is laying it all at His feet and saying, "Lord, I can't, but you can." In that place, you begin to find a peace that doesn't make sense, a strength that is not your own, and a quiet courage to keep going. The greatest miracles often happen after a moment of total surrender. Think about the disciples who couldn't catch a single fish after an entire night of trying. Only when they obeyed Jesus and cast the net on the other side, trusting His word over their experience, did they see an overflow they couldn't even contain. In the same way, your surrender becomes the space where God's purpose can flow freely. Chapter 5. Walking through the refining fire. Pain is not just a test. It is a refining fire. It burns away what is impure and strengthens what is true. In the Bible, gold is purified through intense heat. The fire doesn't destroy the gold. It removes the dirt and dross, so the gold shines brighter. Your trials work the same way. They refine your faith, deepen your character, and teach you endurance. Sometimes God allows the fire because He sees what you can't see. He knows the strength He's building in you will be needed for the next chapter of your life. You might feel like you're being pushed beyond your limit. But the truth is, the fire is shaping you for the future He's preparing. And here's the beautiful part. You are never alone in the fire. Just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, there is always another walking with you, the Son of God Himself, keeping you from being consumed. When you come out of the fire, you won't smell like smoke. You'll carry a testimony that speaks louder than any words. And others will see God's hand on your life, not because you avoided hardship, but because you endured it with unshakable faith. Chapter 6. Turning tears into testimony. Every tear you have cried is seen by God. The Bible says He keeps them in a bottle, which means none of your pain is forgotten. And here's the promise. What the enemy meant for harm, God will use for good. Your suffering today can become someone else's survival story tomorrow. Think about the people in your life who have encouraged you the most. Chances are, they've walked through pain themselves. They know the language of loss. They understand what it's like to wrestle with questions and cry in the dark. And because they've been there, their words carry weight. In the same way, your story, even the messy parts, can become a light for someone else's darkness. When you share how God carried you, healed you, and turned your breaking into blessing, you are giving hope to the hopeless. You are showing them that the same God who met you in your valley will meet them in theirs. Your testimony is proof that pain can have purpose and that God's faithfulness never fails. If you're in the middle of pain right now, it might feel impossible to believe there's a purpose. But remember this, God sees the whole story. He is the author, and He never leaves a chapter unfinished. The hurt you feel today is not the end. It's a sentence in a greater story of redemption. One day you will look back and see how the very things that threatened to break you became the stepping stones to your destiny. You will realize that your deepest wounds became the places where God's love was most visible, and you'll stand as living proof that no pain is wasted in the hands of the Creator. So hold on. Keep trusting. Keep walking. Let Him take your tears and turn them into testimony. Let Him take your pain and turn it into purpose. Because with God, every ending is just the beginning of something beautiful.